Oh God. Hello. All right, family, you're welcome on Black White Fire Network. It's Africa Maria. Oh, I'm not feeling fine today. But well, let's do this. First of all, I will apologize that I wasn't on yesterday. We had issues of electricity. It's rainy season in Africa, and Africa being wet at times when it's rainy, I guess sometimes they switch off the electricity just for security purposes or precautions. I don't know. But that's what happens. So I could not come live yesterday because of electricity. And today I'm a little bit late still because I had a problem with my laptop. But I'm back here right now, though I'm a little bit sick, so I may not be as old boy as I'm supposed to be because I don't have a microphone, so I use the laptop's microphone. So I may not be as audible as always because I'm not actually fine. But I could not miss today's show because I missed yesterday. So I really apologize now. Today's topic is quite a sensitive word, and we are going to talk about Africa uniting. Now, this is something that is a dream of everyone who is looking up to a greater Africa. Well, it may sound as selfish as it may sound to various people who are against Africa uniting. This is a dream of every African person that looks forward to Africa's uniting and working to. She's not here. All right. So, most people, when someone talks, Africans are very, very weird people. At times, they're like, I don't know the term I should use to describe some of the African people. Now, when I come from Uganda and I talk about unity, of course, some other, just like I said, it may sound selfish to other Africans who wouldn't wish Africa to unite. And that's why sometimes it's very hard actually to actualize this vision of Africa united. Um, as I will use an example, I'm someone who comes from Uganda, and someone will look at my country as a very small country. But my country has things that other African countries may not be having. And now, someone coming from Nigeria, of course, I'm going to use that. Having oil, having a different kind of lifestyle. The same goes to those in South Africa, of course. Um, Looking at themselves like they are far away from African kind of lifestyle, they wouldn't see Africa united as something that is, helpful to them. But rather, they look at you want to milk us because some of you are poor, some of you got, nothing going on, and you're talking about Africa uniting and all blah blah. Now, these are questions and these are quarrels that I see in a lot of African groups, Pan African groups, of course, all over social media, where some Africans do not believe in Africa uniting. Some of them selfishly think uh, others want to unite with them simply because they want to gain a lot from them. Now, something that most excuse me, ma'am, kutagawa from there. Something like what most Africans do not. Oh, Robert Williams, you're here. You're welcome. Hey, hello. I hope you're doing going well. today I'm not doing fine, but I'm trying to, overcome this whole sickly situation. Yeah, but yeah, we shall keep on with our shows, hopefully. But anyway, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming through. I know you're always here. Though last time you didn't comment, I'm sure you were very busy with work at that time. That's why. But I knew deep inside you were watching my show. Anyway, thank you so much for coming through. Like we are saying that, so most of the African people, I feel like there is no need of Africa uniting, claiming that other people want to milk other countries. And that was that story. I'm going to use Nigeria as of now. This is what Nigeria was claiming years ago. But right now, it's begging like the situation in Nigeria isn't that good. And it would wish at least to have part of these other African countries. Now, unless you're very naive and less informed, Africa is a country that is very, very vast with a lot of minerals that even we can share and still have balance of it. Each of the African country has its own unique way that would even benefit each of the operates. But unless you're someone who is not exposed to know what is going on in the different African countries, that's when you would complain about Africa uniting. I look at us uniting. First, we had a common market that we used to call the COMESA. We had African common market where people could unite from the central, the east. Basically, it was from the central and the east. They used to do trade, and also the southern part. I don't see a lot of the northern part, of course, in this market, but that market was benefiting Africans tremendously. A lot of people were in this market, and we saw a huge development. And the first time that these um, marketing organizations were put aboard. But of course, due to corruption and other means, we saw them deteriorating and many people withdrawing from these markets, others complaining of the exchange rates and what have you. So they withdrew from these other markets. So that's how we saw this market collapsing by that time. But Africa had one common market. Majorly, it wasn't like for the entire Africa, but it was for the central, east, west, and of course the southern part of Africa. They had one common market where they used to do trade. So that market actually did a lot of miracles when it was still new. But as corruption went in, I think they defiled everything and the agenda at which they had set this market, of course, lost the meaning and people started withdrawing. Though it is still on board, people hardly, involve and invest in this market, but it was a great part. Now, Africa Uniting makes as strong as it sounds, it's indeed a strong, subject that most African leaders should focus on. There is no way we are going to say that we are out, we cannot, we are going to fight on our own without uniting. Uh, Africa, we share a lot in common. We share a lot of physical features. We share a lot of things like the water bodies. When it comes to market, of course. Let's say that East Africa shares the Indian Ocean part where we have Mombasa and other ports, and coming back to um, Zanzibar and other ports that are there. So the entire East Africa actually uses those ports for trade, which is a great thing. So that means if we were like united, we would see Congo doing the same. Congo passing through these other East African countries to come to the coast to do its trade or to receive its shipping and all that. Actually, it would be so very benefiting because Congo is one of all the parts uh, of Mama Africa's land. So, but of course, other countries that are so blind do not support unity. For example, Africans are so very greedy. Everyone is like, how are we going to unite? Who is going to be our president? Who is going to do that? If we are going to unite, of course, those are Nigerians that are talking. If you are going to unite, we are the giants of Africa. We should have a president who is going to lead and all that. That you don't have to look at your giant. First of all, you've failed. You failed in very many ways. At least we would need someone who has set an example to come in and of course take control, or if not, would still have a new elect person. Leaders are born after all. Like I said, I'm so very very sorry that I'm going to sneeze. Wow. I'm going to sneeze. Let me mute my camera, my microphone. Sorry. I'm not really fine. So so Africa, there is no way we are going to talk about us overcoming a lot of things that are oppressing us without coming together as one. Corruption is everywhere. It's just the way you move, which is going to make the difference. Yeah, corruption is everywhere. Yeah, true that, Robert. True, corruption is everywhere. And but I don't know, maybe the poverty level of people who are living in Africa actually makes it sound so huge. Because they would take corruption even at a smallest thing that you wouldn't, be thinking someone would require to ask for money. Okay. There are some things which are so obvious that you wouldn't be expecting someone to be like, yo, give me something for you to do this. Okay. So, but of course, the way we move, African countries actually, we wouldn't even finish. We can live on our own. This is one thing I know, without anyone's aid, without USA giving us aid. Which aid do they even give us? I don't get it. But of course, they say they give us aid. Which aid do they even steal and then give you a little bit? We can still live on our own if we are united without even China bringing their, do their clothes down here and their substandard stuffs in Africa. We would still stand on our own because we got everything. By the way, speaking of which, do you know that it's getting they are trying to introduce Chinese language in Uganda, that we are supposed to study Chinese. They have brought that curriculum and I'm seeing it on my syllabus. I'm supposed to learn Chinese. But it's crazy. Why are we even learning Chinese? That means China has a hope that it's going to, grow big. That's why they are introducing Chinese language in schools in Africa and in Uganda actually. So, oh, that's it. But you see, Africa is, I believe that we can stand on our own. We look at the countries that have got oil, we know. If we would select and say these people have fertile lands, they can provide food, the major food. And yes, I know every African country is capable of growing their own food. But now we are looking at the times of need. We would know that these countries can provide food. We know that certain countries can provide us with oil. We know where the minerals are coming from, the raw materials. Um, That you're welcome. Oh God, I'm feeling headache a little bit. Truth be told, they are here in the states with the police stations in our inner cities. You see, there are already like 10,000 half African babies in Uganda. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Sorry, guys. Well, the babies. Anyway, me, I'm looking at. Actually, I think China has picked a lot of interest in Uganda, and it's crazy how rapidly they are. That I should go and lay down. I will. I'm here for an hour, so I will. It's crazy how Africa itself, sorry, how China has picked a lot of interest in East Africa and Uganda, to be precise. Dwight Davidson is telling us that there are 10,000 half African babies in Uganda. Uh, Most of these people are, by the way, elderly women and young girls up countries, and who have Chinese babies and what have you. But somehow I feel, because I thought it was like a joke when they introduced, who is that? When they introduced, so hmm, well, hmm, sorry about that. So sorry. So Africa as a nation, she should stand up and unite, because we need each other, just like I always say. And also, not only Africa, but we also need our brothers and sisters in diaspora, and um, who believe in Africa, and who believe this is their mama land, and who believe that they come from here. Because you know, it's so very, very surprising to see. Maybe because could it be that our brothers and sisters in diaspora have gone through a lot, that they had to try so very much to find who they are, and to find solutions to what they're going through. Unlike Africa, who are Africans who are so very comfortably, uh, my voice is repeating. don't know. Sorry about that. Now, what should I do? I hope I'm good now. So, unlike the ones in Africa, actually, one thing our brothers outside Africa should know that we may not be able to do this alone as Africans. We need to stand up as one, as united, because that collaboration is, I believe, can cause a very huge impact on Mamaland, and I believe it can cause tremendous improvement and development uh, on Africa's land. That we do need each other, but look how they treat us. Even Uganda demolishing those homes. Oh God, Robert Williams demolishing which homes? Tell me about it. That homes. I don't know. I want to talk about the homes, but I want to be sure of which homes you're talking about. Uh, there are some homes that have been demolished in Uganda, and these homes actually were homes that were built in wetlands. Now, like it's rainy season like this, the wetlands flood, the water, flows all over the city because people have cleared the wetlands where this water is supposed to have it. So they demolish most of the houses, but of course they should compassionate those people because they should they should compassionate them. I don't believe in rendering someone homeless because of such kind of solutions. Though I also do not support people building houses in wetlands because Africa is a very, wet place. So you do that, you're causing a lot of harm to other people. We are seeing floods down in Kampala. It's rainy season actually, and you see floods everywhere simply because people are clearing all the wetlands. We all know the problems and the repercussions that will befall if you do build houses in wetlands. The next time we shall see a lot of floods like the ones we are seeing in India and the ones we are seeing in other African countries and also the Western countries because of this kind of things. Building houses in wetlands, though the government should compensate them because perhaps that may be their ancestral land and they have nowhere else to go. But of course, so I wouldn't, as much as I don't support them building houses in wetlands because they are spoiling the environment and also tampering with the climate. So you can still drop it. Give me clear uh on your comment and tell me what you word. Now, East Africa, sorry, African countries are very funny. We talk about unity. I expect Africans to, love each other, but that's not what we are saying. I always give you example. I've seen a lot of people who, they have a picture they have in other African bites. When Abzugu comes here, I saw Abzugu on TikTok. He was like showing how Ugandans were so super excited to see him and all that. All the kids were running to hug him, even though they had not seen him before, but they were happy to see him. And this Buzugu, okay. No, Maria, that was in Ghana, not Uganda, where a government official stole some African Americans' land and tore down their homes to build a hotel for the white LGBTQ. That's a sad story there. This is what I'm saying. Most of the African people are so very much after money. They don't care about respect, they don't care about integrity. All they care about is money. And this is the problem that we're having. And that's why it's going to be so very easy for these people to come in and break us apart again. If at all we are not apart, we're already apart, I guess. That's a sad story. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not fine. Mm. It's so terrible. Yet Ghana itself opened its borders for the African Americans to come and settle down. I hope it's. I don't even know what to say about it because this is a very sad story. Keith is telling us that in Ghana, a governmental official stole some African Americans' land and tore down their homes to build a hotel for the white LGBTQ. I don't want to talk about LGBT, whatever shit today. The last time I did, it was fire. Robert was asking what I have been watching. Was it? Mm, I think it was Ken Williams. I got Robert. Now you can see they feel like Mzungu is superior. They feel like when you have Mzungu, you have already reached heaven, and they look down on black people, people who are just like the same. I always tell you that uh, you know people always undermine, and also they just most Africans look at um our brothers in America like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to use a very absurd word. I will not use it. Mm. I sound like I have cold. Yeah, I had a very heavy downpour on me last week. It was raining storms and shit, and I had to get home. So I had to move. But I think I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I believe I'll be. I will be. Why not? Shit, I cannot die because of this. So, like, Africa should unite. I was saying that most of our brothers and sisters in diaspora should also come together with the African people. Yeah, and Robert Williams told me about, this incident that happened. And of course, Keith also clarified about the incident in Ghana where an African American, and actually a lot of African Americans were picking a lot of interest in. Please send me that video. I would really love to see it. A lot of African Americans have had picked a lot of interest in Ghana. Actually, at least I've seen a lot of them giving it a thumbs up, promising to go down to Ghana because the president of Ghana actually had opened, uh, you know, his borders and welcoming all the Black Americans back home if they feel at least they belong there. They were so very much welcome. And now this one is a very huge blow. I don't know what the government is doing. I don't know the steps it's undertaking to, against this very guy who did such an act that is going to damage a lot and is going to shatter a lot of dreams for a lot of Africans and also our brothers and sisters in diaspora, actually, because now everyone will be so scared of stepping back in Africa because of such a thing. And this is something we should actually stand up against. I don't know what other Ghanaian people are doing to, talk about this issue or demonstrate against it. But I know when it comes to LGBTQ, I was talking about this last time, and my major contributor in that discussion was, of course, Kay Williams, and he was like, but this LGBTQ, actually, these guys got a lot of money down here in Africa. They have invested a lot of money. I don't know how it is outside Africa, but in Africa, if you talk about LGBTQ, it is money. People are just saying like they smell money. People are going crazy about this shit because of money. We are seeing very young Ugandan girls doing a lot of crazy things on TikTok because they know they want to be identified so they can do shit, so that they can get money, so that they can get green cards to the US and all that. Why did they pick this Black American, this African Americans land in particular? Why did they really pick this guy's land and not any other person's land? This may not be an ordinary thing. It may not be an ordinary thing, actually. It needs further and thorough investigation because there are a lot of vulnerable people. I'm not like trying to support this act, but there are a lot of vulnerable people who would have fallen prey to this act. But why did they target this, African Americans guys? Like, I don't know about that story, but of course, Kim says he's going to share with me that story via WhatsApp. I'm waiting to see, but I think this act needs further and thorough investigation. There are there are different hidden agendas, according to me, because there are very many other people who would have fallen prey to this. But why did they basically, particularly, choose the African Americans persons? I don't know whether she's a man or a woman. Land. Okay, Joby, hi, you're welcome on Black Horse Friday Network. Thank you, Karibu Sana Dad. Now this act that, of course, the Guardian, whatever government official has done, I believe it was an order because I don't see like any government official will just wake up from nowhere and come and take over, somebody's land. But because maybe this LGBTQ white man was like, those are African Americans. We can manage them. We've been managing them back, home. We know how to deal with them. We've been dealing with them. So this is why it's like, this is why I say Africans do not have peace anywhere. Now you're trying to have your land back in Mama land, and still this mayonnaise person is still following you down there and still grabbing your land just to exercise his ability to still follow you down in Mama land and harm you and do all that shit. This is how I'm viewing this, because there are very many different people who would have fallen prey to this act. They'll probably, because these people have been doing this all the time. Maybe this guy wants to exercise his authority even back here because he feels like, okay, now he thinks he has come home because he's a Black American, so he thinks he has come home. I'm going to show him I can still do this at home. And stupidly, sadly enough, our leaders are still supporting this kind of barbaric mannerism, and it's very, very, very disappointing and saddening. But I hope that he gains back his land. I hope that he sues these people and takes the matter to court. I pray and hope that he wins this and reclaims his land. So this is Africa for you. But when it comes to LGBTQ, everyone knows it's about money. So I came across this video where one of the pastors in Uganda, actually, he was speaking one of the Ugandan languages, and he was like telling the president, like, you're telling us to do away with the LGBTQ. If you want us to stop this, you have to invest our money in church, because these guys have given us like a whole lot of money. So it's like these other people in churches are also selling out these other young youths, involving them in this LGBTQ acts. Ken Williams last time was denying that someone, a straight man, cannot do that shit. And I'm telling you, life is funny. People can do a lot of things because of money. A lot, but well, today it's not the discussion. But that Africa should unite against such barbaric acts like the one we just saw in Ghana, where that African Americans land was distorted and given to that minus LGBTQ man or woman, whatever the person is. You know, it's very, very sad. But that's what happens in Africa. African people, first of all, they undermine themselves. It's not about you being an African American, but it's about you having that skin color that is mine. You got that, hair type, that is like mine. So if I failed, bullshit, you're also failing. Uh, you have Nicola my dear, Nicola. But I'll be fine. I'll be fine, Tommy. So so it's about me looking at Robert Williams, and I'm like, we got the same skin. I mean, we got the same hair texture. I mean, if I failed, you have failed. So I look at you like we are the same. So if this Mzungu is coming in, the Mzungu is somebody who is up here. And this is the problem with a lot of African people. You will not see an African American coming down to Africa, no matter how rich you will be, whether you're driving a Ferrari or whatever car you're driving, they don't care. As long as you step out of that car and your skin is black, they'll be like, yeah. But if it's a Mzungu walking on foot, you see everyone is like, they have seen hope. Stupidly, they don't know these people have come to detooth them. Joby, do you understand that when I said the toothache? So this is the mentality of some Africans, not every African, I repeat, not every African, but some of them. This is their mentality. Everything good is not for the black people. Everything good is not for the Africans. It is definitely made from Zungu. Okay, it's definitely made for Zungu. So this is crazy. So that's why probably this guy feels like, if first of all, this African American man cannot take me to court. Even if he does, America is not going to stand in for him. But you understand? And if it has got something to do with LGBTQ, you win definitely. Just like down here in Africa. So they say if you are against LGBTQ and you are a content creator, that means you're going to lose viewers. If you're a content creator on all channels and you talk against LGBTQ, that means you're gone. So it's like these guys are controlling everything here in Africa. LGBTQ is controlling everything. It's controlling money in Africa. It's controlling schools. It's controlling churches. It's controlling the economy. It's controlling everything because they got the money. They got the money. I even don't like to talk about it, more especially on these the African channels, because I feel like I'm advertising for them. And as much as I do not support them, I know some other people may pick interest and be like, you know what, I'm broke. How about doing this? Recently, we saw a lot of videos, of course, people talking against this, but again, we are seeing a lot of Ugandans involving themselves in this. I don't know whether it's is it because Uganda is a small country, but again, our population is huge. But could it also be that we have a lot of youth, so they do a lot of crazy things? They're still lost, maybe they don't know who they are. I don't know. But the biggest factor is money. So they also believe that anything that is introduced by a Mzungu is something that is good. At least that is what most of them are saying. But of also, we have seen also a lot of African Americans into the LGBTQ, a lot of them. But for me, I feel like maybe some of them have some, past travel shit. I don't know. That's how I feel. That's how I think. Because of course we saw this kind of homosexual acts being, done against them by their should I use the word masters at that time when they were slaves. So the so-called, the mayonnaise was doing that as a sign of punishment. They do go ahead and do the homosexual act on their man in front of his wife and children. But still, black people will come around and embrace this, and they feel like they have their right to do such kind of thing. So it's my right to do this and all that. So I feel some of them maybe have the trauma, that past trauma. And by the way, trauma is, hereditary. Someone can transfer it through their children and so on. So it is something that you can transfer. So yeah, that there is a possibility. Anyway, Africa uniting is a big discussion, and though some other Africans feel that we don't need to unite because we are so well, we are doing fine. But there is no African country actually that is doing so fine. We need to cohabit. We need to live with one another. We need to take care of one another. You may have what I don't have, but you may have what I don't have. I may also have what you don't have. So Africa was created in that kind of manner. That every African country has its own unique things. Despite of the fact that we may look similar, our tradition, the culture, and everything intermingles, like it looks similar, kind of similar from the others, but we are a little bit different, and that small difference has a very huge impact on each other's lands, on each other's development, economy, and well-being. Like I was saying before, if you look at Congo is a very, very huge African country. And I'm looking at Congo like if African country were united, probably if Congo would also allow other Africans to live, well in their countries, maybe these wars that are going on in Africa, it would be a different story. But now Congo are so the Congolese people are so very tired. They have been mentally and psychologically tortured that if they look at someone who does not speak the same language with them, it's like they get annoyed. So they just bring all their anger on you. That's why we see a lot of people do not really visit Congo. They do not really go there unless you're going in for aid or mission or something like that. It's not about the security, but it's about how they also view other people. It's like they are so tired and they feel like they want to take their anger on anyone that they can, on anyone that they find feed. Um, so you may find if Africa or Congo was united with the other Africans, maybe these conflicts wouldn't be as much as they are right now, because at that time, by the Congolese have a freedom, or of reaching in other African countries, because there are a lot of Congolese in Kenya, there are a lot of Congo people in Rwanda, there are a lot of Congolese in Uganda, there are a lot of Congolese in Tanzania. But I hear that most Congolese who are in Rwanda actually are these Congolese who are traitors. Though some of them go in as refugees, people say these Congo people who travel to Rwanda, or who are welcomed to Rwanda, are children of families of those soldiers who are tormenting Congo. I don't like talking about Rwanda, but yeah, I've said it. That is it. Oh, look, it's God, dog. I'm here to save you. The good book, give me your land. And this book has magic to save you from what? I don't know, but something. um, he's telling us those days how the Mzungu, of course, took over Africa's land. And again, by the way, that's how some other people were taken into slavery. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but this is what happened. This is what, Africans are just so naive. This is how they were. After preaching that Jesus story to them, they came with their book. They came, of course, with their fought Jesus with the first sheep to land the cause. So they came with their fought Jesus, that sheep. And they were like, come in, jump in the sheep. You're going to get salvation. We are taking you to the promised land and what have you. Our people dived in this ship. Boom. There they were. They were taken to slavery willingly. So, when Robert Williams tells us that, look, it's God. I'm here to save you. The good book. I'm here to save you with the good book. Give me your land, and this book has magic to save you from what? This was their story, actually. This is what was their story. African people are still so naive. Even after all these stories they've learned, they are still behaving in that kind of, manner. I don't know. Maybe we just don't learn. But right now we would be knowing who, even the Chinese right now who are pretending, who would say that the Chinese are different? This is Africa for you. And until today, Adam Zulu has already created that picture in the minds of very many Africans who have been so very much controlled that it's going to be so very hard for us to wake up and face reality. It's going to be so very hard for us to wake up from this nightmare. You know, first of all, they believe a lot of Bazungu have money, but there are some Bazungu who are so very poor, and they're only living on aid, which aid our money that the government gives them every month. That's why sometimes I say let the Nigerians work on them very well. I don't pity them. Kid says that he's in West Texas and the internet is messed up. It's okay. It's okay. We are talking about, of course, Africa must unite. And a lot of comments are from Robert Williams. Yeah. Today I've not seen Jimmy Jabba. What happened? I've also not seen Kel Williams, but well, I'm glad Robert Williams is here. Truth be told, the Chinese are everywhere trying to take over, even in the United States, which has been covered out for them by the banker families. These guys want to take over the entire world or what? Honestly, Chinese are everywhere, but I think they are so massive in Africa. And these guys are coming every day with their families down here. Just like these Indians also in Uganda who don't even want to go back. Oh dear. Well, I'm always glad. Chinese people, that headache, oh, madam. I don't know. These Chinese, they have this other new technique they have of producing everywhere, everywhere. What is going on? I don't know even how women be sleeping with those guys anyhow. Anyway, who knows what women want? I also don't know even if I'm a woman. I also don't know what we want. That's crazy. Ah, Chinese. And most of them be short like this. I've not seen tall Chinese here. Maybe they're there, but I don't know. I don't even meet them. So what during the days of COVID, I remember I was going to the park, to the bus stops, like a park where like there are so many buses waiting for you, for people to pass. So we call them bus parks. We have tax parks. I don't know how you guys call that. So there are places where you find a lot of buses going to different places, but it's like a point where people come and jump into those buses and travel. And if it's a tax park, you also find a lot of taxis there. You jump in and so there are always public meets. So there's this Chinese woman who was passing, she had covered her nose and mouth. You know those days of COVID where people used to cover. So all these other Ugandans were shouting at her, like, you remove it. Why are you so scared? I thought you're the ones who have brought this virus. Otherwise, shouting at this woman and she was feeling so uneasy. So another guy just went and plucked her mask from her face. You can see how crazy people are. At that time, COVID had made Ugandans very crazy. Other people were even going hungry. And the government was giving people food. Actually, COVID situation has never, Africa has not risen back on food since the COVID, era, because our economy was really struck. And until to date, people have not resurrected. Let me use that word for the Jesus people. Oh my God, guys. I'm waiting at least to stay here like for an hour, but I'm not really okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not fine. I'm trying to contain myself, and see, my mind is even not as active as always. The Negroes understand this shit. Against you is a group sport, and you must practice the same for survival. Exactly. It is the survival for the for the fittest. I beg. It's the survival for the fittest here. For the black people everywhere. Because even down in Babaland, we are being attacked left and right. We are seeing other people coming in. It's like, our own leaders selling us out. I saw Abzugu on TV on Monday. Yesterday was a Tuesday. On Monday, he was complaining about some other uh, Africans fishing on Lake Victoria. I don't know if he owns, or I don't know if they own Lake Victoria or something. That I'm yet to find out. But it was complaining that we got some kind of fish. That fish is called like mukene. You can Google that type of fish here. It's always small, very small, like so tiny. That fish does not grow. Even if you had to keep it for how long, the fish does not grow. But this Muzugu was like saying that they should stop harvesting this fish. They should try to give it time maybe to grow. That fish has existed in Uganda for who God knows how long. For how God knows how long, I don't know. But that fish, people eat it when it's small like that. And it has got its own nutrients. So this Muzugu was complaining that Ugandans should stop harvesting that fish, blah blah. So Ugandans were like, you don't know that that fish has existed even before you come here. We know that whether that is one of the fish that they even call it Ugandan mukene, the East African mukene. It is only found, I think, in Uganda. It is not found anywhere else. So it is known to, it's found on Lake Victoria and at the shores. So I think those other people, I don't know whether those people who fish around the shores of Kenya or Tanzania, because Victoria has it stretches even to Tanzania and also to Kenya. So I don't know if those guys still uh, receive that mukene. Go lay down. See you later. Take some turmeric and garlic. Thank you so much, Robert Williams. I'll try. I'm going to do that actually. Yeah, I think we have turmeric in the house and garlic, of course. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for being here, Robert. Thank you very much for keeping me busy and. Oh, I always say, you guys, whenever you convent, you give me that strength to keep on going and going, and of course, making my show very lively. I've missed the likes of GB Jabba, K. Williams, and when David Soren was here shortly, but he went. I saw Joby, and I think those are the people I had commenting, but I believe other people are watching live. Thank you guys, whoever is watching my show. It's Africa Maria from Uganda. And of course, Robert Williams has made my day today. Big Cheese was around. Yes, thank you very much, Big Cheese. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, even a hi makes my day. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. And I'm sorry that I'm not as warm as always. Oh, Jerry Katie. Hello, sister. Hope you're doing good. Thank you to you for coming through. Ciao, Robert Williams. Thank you so much once again. Guys, thank you so much for watching Black Hot Fire Network. I'm so very sorry I've been so dull today, but we're looking forward to very, very many greater shows and great days to come. I believe Kate is coming through with other shows and the girls. And these countries were created by the Europeans, not Africans. Yes, the border situation, the boundaries should stop if Africa was to unite. We should have free movement all over Africa. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. Thank you so much for supporting my show. It's always a pleasure having you here with me. Am I even shouting a lot? Thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow. Hopefully, I believe. Thank you so much. What is this? I'm gonna die. Shit. Oh.